Good afternoon. Today in this session, we shall be discussing about single phase half wave rectifier with RLE load. RLE load is a quite common load. Suppose we take a DC motor, then a DC motor is also a series RLE load with resistance and inductance in the windings and back EMF as E. The supply voltage here is Vm sin omega t, and since the thyristor can conduct only in positive half cycle, we have firing pulses in positive half of supply voltage at omega t is equal to alpha, 2 pi plus alpha, 3 pi plus alpha, and so on. Now you can see that at omega t is equal to alpha, as soon as the SCR is triggered, it behaves as a short circuit. Therefore, at this instant, at omega t is equal to alpha, at this instant, what happens is that the load voltage becomes equal to the supply voltage. We will discuss what is happening before omega t is equal to alpha. Just now we are analyzing after omega t is equal to alpha. So the supply has become equal to the load voltage. This will continue till omega t is equal to pi. At omega t is equal to pi, we can see that because of inductance in the load, the current has not become zero. The current is lagging. It is still finite. And since the current is finite, the thyristor will not get commutated. The thyristor will continue to conduct unless and until the current falls to zero. So it will continue to conduct till this instant, that is called as beta instant, angle of extinction. At this instant, what is happening, that current has become zero, and you can see in first waveform that the supply is now negative. Current is zero, voltage across thyristor is negative. That means now the SCR will get commutated. So SCR is conducting from omega t is equal to alpha to omega t is equal to beta. The difference between alpha and beta is represented by gamma. Gamma is called as conduction angle. Alpha is firing angle, beta is extinction angle, and the duration between alpha and beta is called as gamma, conduction angle. Now, at omega t is equal to beta, we have realized that the thyristor has stopped conducting. Now, what will be the voltage V0? Since the SCR has commutated, the supply voltage is now disconnected with the load. There is no current flowing in the load. So there will be no potential difference across the resistance or across the inductance. But there is back EMF. Back EMF capital E. So V0 will become equal to capital E. V0 will become equal to capital E. So unlike the case of RL load, if back EMF was not present, the V0 voltage was becoming zero. In this case, when the SCR is conducting, the load voltage will be equal to supply voltage, and when the SCR is not conducting, the load voltage will be equal to back EMF. And again, when at omega t is equal to 2 pi plus alpha, the SCR is triggered, again the load voltage will become equal to the supply voltage. Same is happening, now you can see same is happening before omega t is equal to alpha. Before omega t is equal to alpha, the SCR is not conducting, and since the SCR is not conducting, the load is disconnected from the supply, hence V0 voltage will be equal to the back EMF capital E. And we can here determine the waveform of thyristor voltage Vt. If we subtract V0 voltage from Vs voltage, we will get Vt. So from Vs, if we subtract V0, this will be equal to this minus this will be equal to this. You can say we have to subtract V0 from Vs. So the duration where V0 is equal to Vs, Vt will be equal to 0. From, you can see, from angle alpha to beta, during angle alpha and beta, V0 and Vs are same. That means in this period Vt will be equal to 0. And at all other instants where V0 is equal to E, Vt will be equal to Vs minus E. Vt will be having shape equal to Vs waveform, but it will be shifted by E in downward direction. So negative maximum will not be equal to Vm, but it will be Vm plus E. The negative voltage will be minus Vm plus E because it is shifted downward by capital E. And we can determine the circuit time of thyristor, the duration in which the voltage across SCR is negative. So it is starting with, you can say it is starting with beta, and it is terminating at an angle theta 1. This angle is called as theta 1. We will come back to this angle. We will come back to this angle. Let us say this angle is theta 1. So if this total is 2 pi, then 2 pi, this total is 2 pi, so 2 pi minus beta minus beta minus theta 1. You can see that the third circuit time is written here, 2 pi minus beta plus theta 1. This is circuit time. If we consider this interval, let us check from this side. This total time is 2 pi. Total time is 2 pi. We have subtracted beta angle from this. Beta angle is this much. So we have subtracted this much. This is 2 pi minus beta and 2 pi minus beta, and we have this theta 1 angle. This theta 1 angle is also negative portion. So this theta 1 angle will be added here. So total becomes 2 pi minus beta plus theta 1. This is omega t. And if you want to calculate time, we will have to divide it by omega. Now, what is theta 1? You can see that in this waveform, if you consider first waveform supply voltage Vm sin omega t, then we have drawn capital here E also here in this waveform. Now we have marked a point called theta 1. Theta 1 is the point of intersection of Vm sin omega t and capital E. So before theta 1 you can see that Vm sin omega t is lower than capital E. So what is happening? Before theta 1, Vm sin omega t will be lower than capital E. That means SCR will be reverse biased. So even if we will trigger the thyristor will not conduct. The thyristor can only conduct after angle theta 1. The firing angle alpha for SCR to conduct should be always greater than this angle theta 1. Should be always equal to this angle theta 1. Okay. And if you watch this angle theta 1 in Vt waveform, then you can see that at this instant theta 1, Vm sin omega t minus E will become 0. So thyristor voltage is 0 at instant omega t is equal to theta 1. So SCR voltage is negative before theta 1 and SCR voltage has become positive after theta 1. So if we are considering the circuit time, we will have to consider this duration theta 1 in the circuit time. So 2 pi minus beta plus we will have to add this theta 1 angle because this duration is reverse bias voltage across the SCR. Only after theta 1 angle the SCR will become forward biased. The SCR will not conduct at anyhow before this instant. So this was the overall waveform of a load voltage, load current and SCR voltage. To determine theta 1 angle, you can see that at the point of intersection, Vm sin omega t is equal to E, or we can say Vm sin omega t. If you check this, this is only Vm sin omega t is, or omega t is here theta 1. So we can say that Vm sin theta 1 is equal to E, and from here theta 1 will become sin inverse E upon Vm. Now coming to the load current I0. Load current I0, as discussed in RL load, will have steady state components as well as transient components. The transient component is forced free component. When the current is available, because without availability of, when current is available without the availability of voltage, and the steady state components are the components occurring in the presence of supply voltage. Here we have two supplies. One is Vm sin omega t. Vm sin omega t in positive half cycle will result in positive I0, positive current, but this back EMF capital E will result in negative current. So if when we are considering this second steady state component due to capital E, we will take it with negative sign. And the transient component we have seen in series RL circuit, the transient will come in the form of A e to the power of minus t by tau. It is a general expression. If we take Ri plus L di by dt is equal to 0, its solution becomes in terms of some constant into e to the power of minus t by tau. So we have first steady state component, second steady state component and the transient component. First steady state component is the component due to supply voltage. If maximum voltage is Vm, then maximum current will be Vm by Z, and the current is lagging by an angle phi, so it will be sin omega t minus phi. The second state component is due to minus E upon R resistance will be equal to the steady state component. We will not divide by inductance, because inductance, if we see that minus E is a DC component of supply. When we are considering the DC component of supply, we will divide it by resistance only, because if we divide by inductance, then it will become transient component. Transient component we have considered in third case. So in second case, while calculating IS2, we will divide it only by resistance. And transient component is IT is equal to A e to power minus T by tau. Tau here is L upon R. So it becomes minus R by L into T. So total I naught current, here we have not written I naught. The total I naught current becomes IS1 plus IS2 plus IT. This is IS1, this is IS2, and this is IT. To determine capital A, we will have to put that at omega t is equal to alpha, I naught is equal to 0. If you check the waveform, then you can see that at omega t is equal to alpha, the current I naught is equal to 0. So by putting this, we can determine the expression of capital A, and by putting capital A in this equation, upward equation, we will get a total expression I naught in this form. This is the expression of instantaneous current I naught. Remember that this is not average voltage, this is the average current, it is instantaneous current I naught. If we want to solve for average load current, then the average load current will be, we can determine it by integration. Integration will be Vm sin omega t minus E. The potential difference across RL and L is Vm sin omega t minus E. So if we differentiate, integrate Vm sin omega t minus E between alpha and beta. Alpha and beta is the period in which current is available, and we divide it by time period, this, and we divide it by resistance, then this becomes average load current. On integration, we come to this expression, this becomes average load current I naught. Remember that we have to divide only by resistance here, because there is no average voltage across the inductance. Since there is no rate of change of current, at omega t is equal to alpha, current is 0, at omega t is equal to beta, current is 0. The change in current is 0. Since the change in current is 0, there will be no average voltage across the inductor. Hence, we will divide it only by a resistance value. Coming to V0, you can see that V0 between alpha and beta can be determined by simply integrating Vm sin omega t d omega t, and the duration where the voltage is capital E, the voltage will be capital E multiplied by this duration, and this duration is 2 pi minus beta plus alpha. This is 2 pi plus alpha, 2 pi plus alpha minus this total angle beta, 2 pi plus alpha minus beta. This is the duration in which capital E is available. So this becomes capital E multiplied by 2 pi plus alpha minus beta. So on integration of this term, first term, you get a load voltage, average load voltage in form of this expression. Now coming to power delivered to load. Power delivered will be across resistance and across the back EMF. Across resistance it will be I naught square R, and across back EMF it will be I naught multiplied by E. On adding these two, we will get power delivered to the load. For determining supply power factor, or we can say input power factor, we will have to divide the power delivered with input volt ampere, that is Vs multiplied by RMS current. And we have checked circuit time when we were discussing the waveform of SCR voltage. Now there is a question for you. The question is that a DC battery is charged through resistor R as shown in figure. This is the figure in which we have to determine average value of charging current, that is I naught current, and we have to determine these three things: average charging current I naught, power delivered to battery, and supply power factor. So in this case you are seeing that there is no inductance. So Vm sin omega t and capital E we have drawn. The point of intersection is theta 1. Before theta 1 the SCR will not conduct, and this angle theta 2 becomes pi minus theta 1. This is pi minus theta 1. Since the load is resistive, the nature of current will be similar to the nature of voltage. So current will exist only between theta 1 and pi minus theta 1. So in obtaining load current average value, instead of integrating with alpha between alpha and beta, we will integrate between theta 1 and pi minus theta 1. So this will become our load current I naught. And we have all the values written in the numerical. By putting the values of theta 1 and Vm etc., you can determine the first A part of the question, that is average charging current. The average charging current, we have determined theta 1 angle. Theta 1 is equal to sin inverse Vm by E, E by Vm, and by putting the expression I naught, we can determine the value of I naught. Power supply to battery. Power supply to battery will be capital E multiplied by I naught. We know capital E, we have determined I naught, we can calculate power supplied to the battery. Then we can also calculate power dissipated in resistor. This was not required in question, but it will be required for C part. For power dissipated in resistor, we require RMS current. For determining RMS current, we will have to integrate Vm sin omega t minus I divided by R. This is current square integrated again from theta 1 to pi minus theta 1. On integrating this, we get this expression. We have put all the values and we got I naught RMS. Now from this expression we can determine supply power factor. We have RMS current, we have I naught, we have R, we have E, we have supply voltage Vs, and we have again in denominator RMS current I naught R. By putting all the values, this is power dissipated in back EMF, this is power dissipated in resistance, this is load power, and the denominator is input power, this is Vs multiplied by the RMS current I naught. So this becomes supply power factor. Supply power factor here in this case is 0.672 lagging. That is all in single phase half wave rectifier with RL E load. Thank you.